Let's create a Flutter app that uses native functionality, which involves leveraging platform-specific code to access features not directly available through the Flutter framework. So in this particular case, let's build a simple Flutter app that uses the device's camera to capture photos and display it in the app. This will involve using the ImagePicker plugin available to access the camera. Now first, the prerequisites for this project is you need to have Flutter SDK completely installed. If you have not, look at my previous videos on Flutter and Dart and you'll see it there. You need an IDE like Visual Studio Code or Android Studio. That is also available in my training in Dart. But what we need right now are two emulators. One is Android, iOS, to show you that it works on both devices. Now iPhone doesn't support photo taking using the camera, but we will use a device connected to the computer to test the app. But for now, I'll have all these things open. Now let's go to my command prompt and go to desktop, and inside here I will create a project with Flutter. I'll call it Flutter create camera app. That's what I'm going to call this application, and it's going to create, and I am going to say cd camera app and Flutter run. It should give me the two options for my Android and iPhone simulator, so I'll pick one each. First one, let's take this. It's going to run the app, install it on this particular device, and show the default Flutter app. That's perfect. I'm going to just detach from it, not close it, and run that again for iOS. I always do it in the start just so that it's built and ready, and then next time it's much faster. So second, compile and run, and now we should have it show up in the iPhone emulator too. That's perfect. So that kind of covers our basic create and run. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to detach it again from both the devices. They both work perfectly fine. Both the apps are good. Next, let's go and get the ImagePicker dependency. So for that, let me just go to my Finder. Let's go desktop, camera app, and I'm going to open that in Visual Studio. Yes, I trust the authors. And here, what I'm going to go is I'm going to go to pubspec.yaml file. Make sure this is bigger, and inside here we are looking to go to where it says dependencies, and then inside I'll say image_picker. You can just search for ImagePicker and say Flutter on Google, and you'll see the latest available at this particular time of recording is 1.1.2. so I'm going to say 1.1.2. Once I have completed that, I'm going to go and open my this thing and say the command is Flutter pub get. I do that, so that will download my ImagePicker and all the required libraries, and it should be there. Hope I saved it. Try one more time just to make sure that it's there. Perfect. Now that all those packages are downloaded, just clear this out. Now I am going to go and modify my application. First, one of the things that you have to remember is for each platform we need some permissions. So applications can initially in the start in early when Android and iPhone came out, there were no permissions required. You could just open the camera using the app and nobody would do that. But then now after a few years, when people started secretly using the camera turning on, now you specifically need to ask the user for the permission. So for that, in my Android app, you have to go inside Android app source main, and inside that you have android.manifest file. Manifest file is like a schema of the entire application. It knows everything and anything about the application. So here on the top after manifest, I am going to say uses permission. That's how you ask for permission, and the permission that I'm looking for is Android, and the name of the permission in this case equal to, so this is for camera, so it's android.permission.camera. so that's the permission for that. Now copy this 3 times because I need 3 of them. The second one is for write external storage. So when I take a picture, I want to write the image to the external storage. So for that, write underscore external underscore storage. So that's one, and then read external storage. So once I write that file, I also want to read from there. So every time you use camera, these are the basic three ones that you would need here in Android. In iPhone, and also another thing that you would need is the minimum SDK version. Now this is usually in the previous version. It used to be in the build.gradle file. If you look here, it is the minimum. Let's look at it. Minimum SDK version comes from Flutter minimum SDK version. So now they have a specific in Flutter which is inside my local properties, which is I think again in Android, and it has this file called as local properties, and here you have all these things. I am going to say flutter.minimum SDK version, which for Android is 21 is what I need for camera to work. So this is all that you need to do for Android. Next, let's go to the iOS platform. Even in iOS, you would need permission, but they have a different way of doing it. Inside iOS, inside the runner, and there's an info.plist file. This is where we update. So inside the dictionary, this is a key value pair. I need to add some keys. First one is key ns camera usage description / key. Make sure that you named it right. Ns camera usage description. So typos might cause problem for it to understand. String. The value of this is string. It's asking me what should I ask the user. So I'm going to say we need to access your camera. So whenever the app is trying to use the camera, you can put whatever you want here. This doesn't need to be, you can just say camera and leave it to that. Next one that we need is ns photo library usage description. So first one was to use the, as you could probably say, use the camera. The second one is used for the photo gallery. So access your photo library. And then we need one more for microphone usage. So if you're using the mic for like if you're using the microphone, that is used for that. So if you are taking videos or something, you need the microphone. So that's why, or you're recording audio, that's where you would need this. Access your mic. That's what I'm going to say to record videos. You can just say, if you want to give more clarity on that, that's what you can specify there. Next, let's go and do the camera implementation. So I have this. I'm going to go to my where are the code? The code is in library and inside main.dart. This is where all your code goes in. So inside this, what I'm going to look for is first that material dart that is there. Another package that I need in this case is the image picker. Image picker with image, the file inside that is available is image picker dart file. So there you go. It should show up automatically if you have IntelliSense. It did work. Next one I want to import is dart.io. Okay, input output operations. So that's one thing. Another thing for file reading and stuff. Next I have my, so this is giving me a warning here. If you look at it, says unused because you've not used it yet. This is running the main app. Then we have, instead of my app, I'm going to call it camera app. That is the name of my application. So why not call camera app, extend stateless widget, and inside here we have this constant which I deleted everything. Let's go back here. Where was this part? I'm not going to call the super in this case, maybe later. Override widget build context, I'll keep this. Return material app. Title, I'll call it camera app. That's good. And then theme data, I'm going to get rid of this comment. It just makes it look bigger than what the file is. theme. A lot of times you'll probably see people write a lot of comments just to make their file look bigger, and sometimes also to make sure that it is helpful to other people who are using it. Now inside theme data, I'm just going to use primary swatch. In this case, I'll use colors.blue is the swatch that I'll use. That's our theme data. And then when something in my home screen, instead of this, I'm going to create a screen called as camera screen, where all the code goes. So now I have not created that, that's why it's giving me error. I have this here which says my app, but I changed that to camera app. So I'm going to keep consistency, camera app, that's good. And this guy, I don't need to add constant here. So there you go, camera app, that should work. So now next one, the camera screen. Now I can create a separate file, or I can do what they do here, kind of create it in the same body. Let's go back, let's make sure everything is good. So yeah, so now next create class. The name is camera screen, that's my class name. Extends, now I want this to extend to stateful widget, stateful widget, and inside that I am going to say override. And for override, not the operator, I don't want to do this, I will just use the default camera screen state create state is the function which will have an arrow function to create camera screen state. Okay, that should take care of that. It doesn't know what camera screen state is because that's what I'm going to create next. Class camera screen state extends state, and what is the stateful widget that we created? Camera screen. That's what I'm going to use here. Next, now here I need to get access to the file where I recorded the screen. So I'm going to call it file, which might or might not be there, so it doesn't crash. I'm going to make it optional. Image, then final image picker underscore picker. This is how you create an instance of image picker. That's how this works. And this is giving me error because we didn't implement some of the stuff, which we'll do it later. Next, to take the photo, I create a function called as take photo now, but it might be asynchronous, so I'm going to make it future void and take photo, and I'll make it asynchronous as I mentioned. And inside this I am going to say final picked file, let's call it that, depending on if they picked it or took the picture. Say picker has a function called as pick image, and the source is image source dot camera. Okay, so that's the image. And here I'm going to say if picked file is not equal to null, that means we did pick something. In that case I will say set state underscore image equal to file that we created the instance before, file picked file dot path. Okay, so that will give us the image, and then it will provide us that file. So next I want to say, what if I choose from gallery and not take a photo from camera? So in that case I'm going to create another future void, and this function is choose from gallery. That's what we'll call it, async. And in here we will add final picked okay, let's call it picked file equal to, hope I didn't, okay, similar naming, better, picked file equal to await, and this time I'm going to say picker dot pick image, and this time I'm going to say source is image source dot gallery. So I'm going to take it from gallery. Next, I am going to say if picked file, I'll probably give it right name, not equal to null, then I'm going to say set state, something similar that we did above, but this I mean actually almost same thing, file, and this time I'll say picked file dot path. So exact same stuff, just that one is camera, one is for gallery. Now we have this warning, so we'll have to override those build the widget, sorry, the build function for the widget. So I'm gonna say override, and I want to not override this one, but I want to override the widget build function. Okay, so it did for me automatically. Build build context return. So in this case I'm going to return scaffold, uh, scaffold, and inside the scaffold I'll create the app bar, which is app bar, and inside the app bar I'll give a no, not action, I'll give title for the app bar, and that title will be a text. In this case I'll call it camera app. So that's good. So this is the closing of scaffold, sorry, app bar. And next to that I'll say I want to also create a body, and body of the widget. This body is, I want to center everything, and inside that I want to add a child. Move it to the next line, so it's better. And child has image that I will put here. If image equal to null, in that case I will say, and put a text over there saying no image selected. So if first time comes, or if the user doesn't, then that. If there is an image available, I'm going to say image, display an image over there, image dot file, and in this case I will give underscore image, and since it's required I'm going to give an bang operator there. That kind of takes care of it. And use constant. Okay, that's fine, we don't have to do that. These are some good practices, but we don't want to do that here. Next, so now the body is done. Now let's do some for camera and gallery. Let's create floating action button column, and inside that I like to make it on the next line. For this I'll say main axis alignment is main axis alignment dot end to the end of it. And next, after that, next thing that I want to do is add the children to it in an array. So there will be two buttons. First one is for floating action button. On pressed, I want to call that function, which is take photo function. That's the function that I want to call. I want to give a tooltip of take photo, and then I want to create a child, which is the icon. I'm going to say icon, and inside that icons dot camera. Okay, let's move them to a new line so it looks readable. Tooltip child. Again, this is my preference. You can do whatever you feel for right for your application. This is where our floating action button closes. Next, after that, I'm going to put a sized box here. Some spacing, height equal to, let's give a height of 10, just so that it separates out the two floating action button. So floating action button, on pressed it is underscore choose from gallery. That was a thing. Again, tooltip will be same, or not same, but choose from gallery, and then icon will, oh sorry, child will be icon of icons dot library, dot photo library. Actually there is one that is available. See, photo underscore library, there you go. That's the one that I'll use. Okay, let's make sure that it's aligned so we can see everything. tooltip, child, close this here. Perfect. Looks like we have everything that we need. Let's see, everything is closed. Good. Save it. Any errors, issues? Nope. Everything looks good. So now we can run the app and test it out if it works. So first I'm going to go here, go Flutter, run. Let's open our emulators side by side. Make it as small as possible. So both my emulators are, I'm going to select one first. So I run it on the Android emulator. And it runs up, opens up, and here we go. So this is my photo and this is my photo library. Now I don't have any photos in the photo library, but I'm going to click on this and it will open a fake camera while using the app. Only this time I'll say while using the app. So it asked for that permission, and now I can take a picture of this fake photo or camera, and I'll say this is good, use this, and you see it used it in here. In my library I don't have any photos right now. Let me add some photos. So one easy way to get pictures is you can go down, not screenshot, but you can take screenshots too, or you can go to Chrome on your here and say image, and if you select an image I can just say click on it and I say download image. I can pick one more, download image, pick, let's say one more, download image, and go back to the application and pick, and now I have option to pick the image. I can pick one of them and it will show up here. If I change, it will show that one over there. So same thing for iPhone. What I'm going to do is I am going to run this on iPhone now. Let's detach it from Android, run it here, and before I run it, let's make sure that this one has photos, or if it doesn't have any images, let me just go here and save some images. Same images I can save to photos, save to photos, save to photos. Not sure why cat images are showing up, but here let's select two and let it run. And it ran over here. Let's click on the camera. Of course, as I said, camera is not available. I'll select images and my pictures will be available. There are some default images already available which you can use. So here I've connected my device to the laptop and I'm going to run this particular project on that device. So I'm going to say Flutter run. Hopefully it will see my device. It does. Number 2, Vivian's iPhone. It's compiling. It also opens Xcode just to make sure, because I'm running on my device, so it's going to get my certificates and all that stuff. Try to build it from there and run it from there. It doesn't do that for simulator. So it's install the app and open the device, open the app on the device, and I can click on camera. It will ask me allow access to camera, and I can take a picture of my coffee cup here, use the photo, and it will display it there. So if you see, this is the complete application for building. So what we did was we went through a native library and used the native functionality in Flutter and built an app for both Android and iPhone device, where you can pick pictures from either your photo gallery or take a picture and display it over there. So this is how you can use a native library in your Flutter application. If you have any questions or any issues that you face, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.